for that kind introduction. Monsignor Chemo, Monsignor Calavini, and all the distinguished faculty, clergy, thanks for being here. Mayor Mucci, Mr. Ward, thank you for your presence. Mr. Walensky, who was one of my teachers, and distinguished faculty, many of whom were my teachers. And lastly, parents, family, welcome. Graduates, I hope you're ecstatic at this moment. It's nice knowing that I'm the last thing that stands in the way of you and your diploma. I don't know if Mr. Walensky knew it when he invited me, but he probably wasn't aware that there are a few things that you never want to give a pilot, those being a microphone, captive audience, that's you guys, and an open invitation to talk about whatever he wants, which for most pilots mean they will discuss their favorite topic, namely themselves. And though that too is my favorite subject, I could go on and on. I'll try not to today for a couple of reasons. One, I'm hungry. Two, my lovely daughter Rachel, who, if you didn't know it, is sitting right over there, along with her friends Rachel. Rachel thought I was being original back in 1995, but not so much. They're all in the audience today. That adds a bit of pressure. Plus, Gino, where's Gino? Tag me on. Gino gets up at the senior awards banquet, yay Gino, and knocks it out of the park with a speech. He is a tough act to follow. But since he recounted all the numerous accomplishments of the class of 2013, and there were many, and you should be proud, that means I don't have to. That means I can spend more time lecturing my daughter in front of all her friends and their parents, but that's still a lot of pressure. So to help handle the pressure, to find insight and enlightenment, I turned to that repository of all human knowledge and achievement, YouTube. I learned a lot after I got past all of the cat videos. Is it the cats or some poor girl on there crying and singing about cats? Songified cat songs. Charlie Bit My Finger was still funny. Okay, so 3 hours of that, I finally got back to see some high school commencement speeches that made the cut. They were essentially two groups. One entire group of high school speeches that made it onto YouTube was those delivered as a rap song. So, key the music. I'll spare you. I did find one that wasn't a rap song, and I'm going to quote some of it here in a minute. But the pressure on me was reduced, and I was relieved and comforted by the fact that almost immediately after I watched the video, I couldn't remember most of what he said, much like you won't remember much of what I say here today, just like I don't remember what my commencement speaker said to me 31 years ago when I was in your position. In fact, I barely remember being alive. And the speaker I'm quoting, you English teachers might say plagiarizing. I don't know, in the Air Force we call it not reinventing the wheel, it's always faster. He's the son of a famous author named Dave McCullough, and he starts by acknowledging how fitting it is that today all the graduates are treated the same. Everybody is dressed alike, and apart from the name on everyone's diploma, it looks exactly the same. Because, he says, none of you is special. You're not special. You're not exceptional. Contrary to what your U9 soccer trophy suggests, your glowing 7th grade report card, despite every assurance of a certain corpulent purple dinosaur, that nice Mr. Rogers, your batty Aunt Sylvia, no matter how many times your parental Cape Crusaders have swooped in to save you, you're nothing special. Yes, you've been pampered, cosseted, doted upon, helmeted, bubble wrapped. Yes, capable adults with other things to do have held you, kissed you, fed you, wiped your mouth, wiped your bottom, trained you, taught you, tutored you, coached you, listened to you, counseled you, encouraged you, consoled you, and encouraged you again. You've been nudged, cajoled, wheedled, and implored. He must have been an English teacher because he's using words I'd never use. You've been feted over and fawned upon and called sweetie pie. Now, he actually said that, and my dad, he must have known you, Dad, because it's my dad's favorite term of endearment. And certainly we've been to your games, your plays, your recitals, your science fairs. Absolutely smiles ignite when you walk into a room, and hundreds gasp at delight at your every tweet. Maybe you've even had your picture in the Herald Star. Herald Star, I mean, it was from Steubenville. I've put that in. And now you've conquered high school, and indisputably, Here we have all gathered for you, the pride and joy of this fine community. But don't get the idea that you're special, because you're not. The empirical evidence is everywhere. Numbers even an English teacher can't ignore. Sorry, English teachers. Across the country right now, no fewer than 3.2 million seniors are graduating from more than 37,000 high schools. That's 37,000 valedictorians, 37,000 class presidents, 340,000 swaggering jocks, 2,185,967 pairs of Uggs. But why limit yourself to high school? After all, you're leaving it. So think about this. Even if you're 1 in a million on a planet of 6.8 billion, that means that there are nearly 7,000 people just like you. Consider also for a moment the bigger picture. Your planet, I'll remind you, is not the center of its solar system. Your solar system is not the center of its galaxy. Your galaxy is not the center of its universe. In fact, astrophysicists assure us that the universe has no center. Therefore, you cannot be it. I'm just going to add that if they ever change that theory and they decide to send somebody to find the center of the universe someday, then the first person who will most certainly be there will be a pilot. Just saying. Maybe delivering a package for FedEx, I don't know. He goes on to quote some lines from that Dead Poets movie and some ancient Greek philosophers. I'll spare you. And he comes to the conclusion that no one is special because everyone is special. And I certainly agree that everyone is special, but he never satisfactorily answers the question, in my mind, of what makes everyone special. I'll get back to that later, though, because enough talking about what he said. I want to talk about what I had to say. Now, this is something that my wife, Shannon, and I, hi, sweetie, have strived hard to teach our kids, just like our parents before us. My mom and dad sitting right there in the middle. I think I dominate all of Landman Hall with my family presence. And that's this, that the best way, the most fulfilling and satisfying way to live a life worth living is to get outside of yourself, to be part of something larger than yourself, to find something that has service to others at its core, something that gets us outside of our Facebook pages and our blogs and posts and hashtags and I don't even know what a hashtag is. I just like saying it. Hashtag. Now, some career choices lend themselves to a life of service more than others. I don't know. Monsignor Chemo, can you think of one that lends itself to service of others? Maybe vocations? That would be one. Mr. Walensky, a profession or a vocation that lends itself to service to others, maybe teachers, maybe in a Catholic school, even. Things like police, firefighters, EMS, doctors, dentists, nurses, but in any job we do, we can find a way to serve others, be it insurance agents, counselors, carpenters. Heck, there was a certain Jewish carpenter I've read about. He said service to others was an important part of our lives. And we can serve others by being active members in our communities, our churches, our families. Again, let me take a moment to acknowledge my family, my parents and brothers and sisters, in-laws, who were my support system. When I made the decision to be part of something larger than myself, I went to the Air Force Academy, wanted to quit just about every day. They didn't let me. I had a hard time getting that service thing into my head. It takes a while. It doesn't just come naturally. They helped me through that. Abe Lincoln said that all that I am, I owe to my angel mother. I'm going to expand that a little bit. I say I owe to my angel mother and father. I wish everyone in the world could have parents as good as mine. Thank you, Mom and Dad. And my wife, who supported me in my career during all the deployments and training and exercises and long hours, who was there for me. Thank you. Enough about that. Let me get to what I learned when I was in the military. It has its own unique way of making you stop focusing on yourself. I get to the Air Force Academy, they take my clothes, my stereo, my hair. They gave me back my hair, but it is now surrendered on its own. They give you a new name, you're no longer Dave Irvin, you're Cadet 4th Class Irvin. They change everything about you. They ask you to stop making your individual identity paramount, and they want you to place the good of the group above your own. And let me just note that Memorial Day is tomorrow. Please find a way to remember those in the military who paid for our freedom with their lives. I know that has special meaning in this class. Those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Now, the military had many ways to do this. There were constant training and maneuvers, parades and ceremonies, but there was one more subtle way, and that was by changing the way we talked. Look, it's 1830 Zulu right now. We don't say ABC, we say Alpha Bravo Charlie, and go through the drive-in, and the person asks me if I want fries with that. I find myself responding, affirmative. A yes would do, but it doesn't seem right. When I got to the academy, we didn't call lunch, it was called the noon meal. For some reason, tests weren't even tests. We called them graded reviews. And those graded reviews, I don't know why I didn't have answers. We called them the approved solution. Okay, the approved solution. So some cadets could obviously get carried away with this, take it a little too far. In fact, I'm at the back of the cadet chapel one day. And like every chapel, there's a big bulletin board in the back and postings for retreats and picnics and stuff. But there's a small sign and it says, Jesus is the answer. And I could see some writing on it, so I go up and read it. And of course, it was probably from one smart aleck cadet who took it a little too far. It's changing the way we talk. So it says, Jesus is the answer. And he wrote, yes, but is he the approved solution? Later on, I'd be introduced to things like the fighter pilot's prayer. It's simple and effective. I said it before I came up here, and it went something like this. Oh Lord, please don't let me mess this up. One of my favorite sayings was, get behind early, then you have more time to catch up. That's why I didn't write my speech until this morning. My brothers are going to remind me that in every speech I ever gave, or anybody ever gave in the Air Force, the only critique was, let's go, faster, funnier. If it's not faster and funnier, nobody wants to hear it, so get off the stage. But I did learn also to separate the GS from the BS. All right? The GS is the good stuff. The BS is what we'll say bad stuff. All right? That's your mission in life. As you head out into the world, as you commence to the next stage of your life, take the GS with you, the good stuff, your Catholic and Christian values that you learn here, take them with you. You were confirmed when you were younger, but how you live out your beliefs when you leave here is the real confirmation of what you believe. And good luck heading out in the world without these values. You will be tested. Most of what you see from Hollywood on TV and books or magazines or here on the radio is already counter to what is taught here. Now many of you will be deluged by the academic world, which is ever more hostile to the Catholic and Christian worldview. In fact, the world won't even give you an answer to the why are we special question. And although there is much wisdom to be found in dead poets extolling us to Carpe Diem and from ancient Greeks assuring us that we have a spark of Zeus in us, it's still incomplete. Maybe the deliverer of the "you're not special" message wasn't allowed to tell them why we're special because he was in a secular school graduation. Maybe God can't be mentioned in the public square. I don't know. But I and all the other parents here spent good money to send you to a Catholic school so you could frequently hear the real reason that you are special, and I could say this at your graduation ceremony. Now, I am a pilot, I'm not a theologian, so forgive me if this is a little theologically light. But as we say in the military, it's not rocket science, it's not brain surgery, it's not even rocket surgery. All right, here you go. You are special because there is a God in heaven who created you and all of us, created us to be his body here on earth, to act as his arms and legs, his hands and feet, to perform the continuing work here on earth that needs done, to be part of something greater than ourselves. You're special because you've been taught the truth and you know that you're called to live a life where your faith informs your thoughts and your actions. You're special because you know that the ideals of CCHS, character, which you must develop constantly, courage, which you must take during times of adversity, heart, being a heart for service and sacrifice, and spirit, a love of life and all that it offers. You know that those ideals, when rooted in a Christ-centered life, are the ideals that have revolutionized the world for the past 2,000 years, and they are the best way you can continue changing the world for the better. That's the answer to why you're special. Yes, it's even the approved solution. You can forget everything else I said, you probably already have. I will deliver it as a rap song. I think that would help you remember. Ready? Cue the music? No. I'll spare you. But welcome to the beginning of adulthood. Congratulations. I literally salute you. Class of 2013, as you head out in the world, let me restate the immortal words of Gino Taglione, quoting the immortal words of our own Coach Bain. Always remember who you are and where you came from. God bless. Go Blue. Thanks for letting me speak here today.
Thank you, Colonel Irvin. Monsignor Calavini, Mr. Ward,